For my facilities and resources, the location that I will be doing it in, I will need a section of the sports hall, and the equipment that I will need will be two 6 kilo dumbbells and also a set of 7 kilo dumbbells, just so that I can change the variety, and if the 6 is too light I can change it to the 7. I will for the health and safety considerations, the equipment will need to be off to the side so it won't become a tripping hazard, and also my client needs to be in the correct kit, which will be sporting attire and trainers or appropriate footwear. And jewelry will need to come off so that there won't be any injuries to my client during the session. And also I'll be doing a PAR-Q with my client to make sure if they have any injuries that they tell me about it, so that I make sure I don't get them injured. If for the emergency procedures, if my client got injured, I will know where a first aid kit is and the nearest first aider, so that my client can be treated quickly and properly. And if there's a fire alarm, I know the correct drill and where to go. And so that shouldn't be a problem. And you know the safety procedures. And if I needed to leave the room, I would tell my client what to do and show them the correct positioning so that they wouldn't get injured. And if I needed more space, I would adjust to it accordingly or change around what I'm doing. And if there were more participants, I could extend the drill and I would change it into a circuit so that would be easier for the participants and it would still work the way I wanted it to. And to adapt my session, I'll be watching my client very closely. If they're finding it too easy, I will make it harder by using the heavier weights, or I'll be adding more reps with less resting time. Whereas if they're finding it too hard, I'll be adding more resting time between the reps, and I'll change to lighter dumbbells. And yeah, and with the hazards, I'll be aware if the ground is slippery or the shoes are slippery of my client, and I'll be aware if it's raining, then there'll be a greater risk than there would be if it's a sunnier day. And also be aware of my surroundings with the other people in the sports hall to make sure that they don't get injured, and neither does my client. Okay, for my warm-up, I'll first be greeting my client to just introduce them to what I'm doing, and I will speak through very clearly of what I'm doing and why I'm doing it so that they understand and that it can be repeated at home. And I will make sure they understand what they're doing and they have the correct body positioning. And I also make sure that I'm the one in charge, so I'm being assertive and making a good impression. And also I'll be in control, but I'll be calm, and then I have to keep them motivated through what they're doing. For my warm-up, I will be starting with some lunges, some side lunges, and then I will be doing some jogging and some sprinting, and I will the warm-up I will be doing arm swings, because the main area of the body that I'm working on is the shoulders and arms. So it will be arm out straight in front of you, swing it back as far as it can go in so it's straight, and then swing it forward and then back, and then repeating that on the other side. Then we'll be doing circles with the arms, so starting small and then getting bigger and then big to small. And then I'll be doing a bit on the legs because it might involve them. So I will be doing some leg swings, so moving the leg, kicking it forward whilst holding onto a wolf balance and then switching, and the lunges to help with the movement, and then crossing the arms over and pulling on it as a static stretch, which may not normally be used in a warm-up, but I think it's a good idea in this one, and then switching the arms. And I will then be introducing a rugby ball into my warm-up because my client's a rugby player, and so it'll be just passing overhead, so out straight and then pass, and doing this a couple of times, and then some training where they move side to side, so that's engaging their obliques and abdominals, and that will help because it's game related drill to the warm up, so it's skill related, so that should be more familiar to my client and will make more sense. And then I'll make sure my client's warm enough, and then we'll begin with the main session. For my main session, the beginning move will be to get the 6 kilogram done kettlebells and make sure my clients row them. And then it will be doing some raises, so both hands down in front of you, facing the toes, raising one out to the side to 90 degrees, and then back down, and then do the other arm, and make sure the arms are straight, and doing this 5 times each side. And my client has a shoulder injury as well that I need to be aware of. And then I will change the drill from, so hands down in front of you still, elbows facing inwards towards you, then keeping your elbows into your side, raising just your arms, the top parts, up to you, up to your shoulders, then down. And when you're doing this, I'm going to tell my clients to do it nice and slowly as they go down, so that there's a maximum stretch there. And then doing this 5 times each side, and then I will give 30 seconds rest. And then we'll be doing some lunges with the kettlebells. So they step forward and with their right leg into a lunge with the kettlebells to their sides, nice and tight as they go down. And then down again. And then after that, doing it on the other side, so left leg out, and then doing that with the kettlebells and keeping them tight and responsive. And then I'll ask my client, then 30 seconds rest, then do those 3 exercises again with 30 seconds rest in between each one. And because I've told them what to do the first time, this time I'll be watching out for how they're doing it and making sure that posture and position is correct throughout the drills to make sure that they don't get any injuries or anything that they shouldn't. And after that, I'm going to do another set of 3 exercises, which will be 3 exercises is kettlebell single arm deadlift. This uses the muscles of your back, core, glutes, quads, and hamstrings. This exercise strengthens most muscles in the body, but it's particularly the glutes, hamstrings, and quads. And it's a good start exercise to practice before moving on to harder lifts. And I would like this done 7 times on each side, but with 30 seconds break in between each side. And then after that, the kettlebell single leg deadlift. This again uses the back, core, glutes, quads, and hamstrings. It's a hard exercise that will help you balance out the left and right side of your body. It's excellent for working on your core muscles that connect your opposite shoulder and opposite hip. So by doing this, you put one leg out on the floor normally, then lean over with the kettlebell one arm so that it's touching the floor, and your other leg, opposite one, is off the ground at 90 degrees, and your front leg can be bent slightly, and then your other arm is up to the side of you. I'd like this done again 7 times each side with 30-second break in between each side. Then for my third exercise is a kettlebell swing with 2 hands. This uses the shoulders, back, core, glutes, quads, and hamstrings. This works most of the bodies without even having to move your feet. So your feet should be just over shoulder width apart. Kettlebell in both hands, raising it up so it's straight out in front of you, then swing down and you bend your knees slightly, then swing it between your legs, and then with your back down, and then swing it up, and then raise your back again, and do this 7 times each side with 30 seconds break in between. And after that, I would like those 3 exercises to be repeated once more, 7 times each movement with 30-second break between sides. And those are my first 2 sets of movement that I'd like to be done. And these are progressive exercises, so it will get harder. And as you can see on my second set, the reps went up but the breathing didn't